There are about a dozen different homeless and emergency shelters in Allen County. School buses make stops at a lot of them because there are children there trying to make it at school. News Channel 15's education reporter Elizabeth Fields sat down with a couple of kids who call the Karas House home. Elizabeth?
Well, Mark, as you can imagine, living in a shelter is very different from living in a home. These kids are trying to get used to sharing everything. Nothing is really their own. At the same time, many are trying to get by at school with no one finding out their secret.
I was sleeping in a park under a gazebo, and I would go and bathe at gas stations.
2 years ago, Sheila Hill was a completely different person.
My addiction gotten so bad, I was homeless.
But she wasn't alone. Her then 5-year-old son, Josh, was bouncing from place to place along with her.
There was hardly no kids there. When you go upstairs, it's almost like pitch black, so I could see my homework really good.
Because of that, Josh struggled in school. He fell behind, and then his mom hit rock bottom.
When I was sleeping in the park and eating out of the garbage cans, I thought that was my bottom, but when my son was taken from me, that was my bottom.
At the end of my rope, just existing, enough to get by.
2 years ago, Jonna Hill Oakley's mom had a job, had a house, and Jonna would have been getting off the school bus at that house, not at a homeless shelter.
I never thought I would be in a shelter. Shelter were for people who weren't making it in life, didn't know how to take care of themselves.
But at the time, Pat wasn't sure how to handle an abusive relationship. Eventually, she took her daughter and left everything else behind.
I kind of was in shock. Own room, cell phone, everything. It's kind of all gone.
Both Jonna and Josh work with George Fields at FWCS. He helps hundreds of kids living in shelters in Fort Wayne.
If somehow other students find out, especially in the older grades, you know, they're teased by it, but it's hard.
In 7th grade, Jonna knows that firsthand. Until now, she's tried very hard to keep her secret.
So, Jonna, can I come home with you? It's like, yeah. How about sometime in a little bit, like a couple weeks from now? And then when that time comes up, it's like, well, I thought we were going over your house. Well, kind of keep stalling and come up with little fibs and stuff like that just to pull it off.
Josh, on the other hand, has had a much easier time transitioning into the Karas house. Mostly because he was reunited with his mom when she checked in.
He was apart from me, and that was stressful for him. When we got back together, he just whizzed through school.
Both kids say shelter life has a learning curve, but living in a shelter has taught them things they'd never learn in a classroom.
Most people just expect, oh, you're homeless, you don't have money. Homeless is just, I don't have a home. That doesn't mean I don't have this and that.
Shelters give them a roof over their heads, but homeless children still need support and the physical things that help them fit into a world that they don't feel like they belong. If you'd like to learn how you can help, you can log on to our website, WANE.com.